to go back to politics for just a moment.
Sure.
One issue that we heard at the debate was Donald Trump airing this piece of disinformation that Haitian immigrants are eating pet dogs and cats. We don't have to talk about that. It's obvious that's nonsense. But the practical consequence of that is now we know that Haitian immigrants are keeping their kids home from school, that there's that their homes and property is being attacked as the result of that, and this is predictable, right? Like we've seen when Donald Trump issues his clarion call to his supporters. January 6th it happened with COVID and the Kung flu. That's what he was saying. Then there was a spike in violence,
Islamophobia, right? The whole 9 yards.
So
anti-Semitism.
Can you speak on just your reaction to that politically?
Yeah, that's the Roy Cohn School of Management, right? You demonize and demonize and demonize and give credit to nobody else. And that is the antithesis of good leadership. That's the antithesis of good character. That's the antithesis of being ethical. That's who Donald Trump is. I've known him for 25 years, but he is the most unethical, lacks character, dishonest person I've ever done business with or worked with.
Why does that matter, though? Like, people are going to look at that and say, I don't care, he's an asshole.
And they do,
but he's our asshole.
He's my asshole,
right?
yeah. Character is destiny, right? You don't know. The one thing about the presidency of the United States, you don't know what's coming next. The past is no predictor of the future. You have no idea what the next problem is you have to deal with on a small or large basis, like COVID for that matter, right? And you want somebody who has character, that has empathy, that has a willingness to learn and understand. And you want somebody that is ethical when it comes to making difficult decisions. I can't even imagine why people consider Donald Trump because of his lack of character and ethics. Because when that tough time comes to make a decision, he's only going to listen to himself. And we've seen how that works out. When you have 40 or 44 cabinet members disavow him and say you shouldn't vote for him, when you have former Republican presidents and senators and current senators come out and saying don't vote for him, that is not a man of character. They would have given him the benefit of the doubt if they believed in his ethics or his character, or that he was honest. And that tells you all you need to know. You don't want somebody like that dealing with the uncertainty. And as bad as lack of ethics, lack of character, lack of honesty is, the fact that he makes no effort to learn anything. This is one of the few human beings on the planet that get dumber in front of our face every single day.
Isn't he the worst manifestation of all of the things that they hate about politicians?
Yeah, of course.
He did nothing. Not only did he do nothing for the working class, for the regular class, but he got into office under the pretense of actually helping those people. There was no infrastructure plan. There was no cheaper and more comprehensive healthcare plan. Right. There was no job boom.
He's the type of salesperson. So if you don't look at him as a politician and you just look at him purely as a salesperson, he's the type of salesperson that will say anything to get the sale. But if I can get you to become afraid of Haitians, of black people, of Jews, whoever it is,
trans people, gay
people, whatever, right? Yeah. Anybody, then I can sell you on the fact that I'm your guy. Because when you're selling something that isn't discreet, right? It's more general. Your community is being taken over by these immigrants. That's the easiest sale in the world, and that's why so many people follow him. Because if I tell you, you have more reason to be afraid, and then I give you reasons why you can be more afraid, and even if I don't tell the truth about how I'm going to fix it, if I lie my ass off, and I'm a liar, but hey, at least you're giving me a shot to fix it. It's like the boogeyman, right? The boogeyman exists, right? It's like, why are scary movies so successful, right? Yeah. Because if your life doesn't really connect you or give you experience with things that are different, it's easy to be afraid of.
But is there one pie, and if somebody else is taking from that pie,
no, of course not. That's not the way it works. It's
detrimental to you.
No, of course not. It's not a zero-sum game.
Right. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
At.
It's not a zero-sum game, and that's that's what Kamala's trying to explain. Right. It's an opportunity economy where if we can grow the economy so that everybody benefits, there's nothing that can happen. There's nothing that a Haitian can do, or anybody can do for that matter, that's going to stop an entrepreneur from being an entrepreneur. Right? You can't stop me. I don't care who the fuck you are, right? If there's a good business, you come on Shark Tank and it's a great idea and a great opportunity, and there's product market fit, doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. We are going to kick ass, right? Not all of them are going to succeed, but the idea that that person is going to take away from you is insane, right? But I understand why it resonates with people, because look, I've been broke. I've been sleeping on the floor. I've been, 5 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment. And when you're in that circumstance, it sucks, right? And if somebody tells you it's not your fault that it sucks, it's these or them or those, it's better than admitting, to yourself that, okay, I've got it hard and that's just my life. When individual people's expectations for their own lives are high and they underperform those expectations, they fill the gap in somehow, right? And if you can't fill the gap in with achievement, then it's got to be someone else's fault. And if someone else is telling you, you're right, that lack of achievement that you haven't, it's not just that's just the way life is. It's not, okay, we'll try to help you, right? It's not, we'll give you the resources. So, hey, we'll pay for childcare. We'll give you a childcare credit so you can go out and work. So you don't have to work a second job, right? Or you can spend more time with your kids. And that creates a virtuous cycle for education, right? No, if it's like, no, it's not your fault.
And what better messenger for it's not your fault than the guy who has refused to take accountability for anything in his entire life.
Ever. He's the victim always, right? Yeah. Which is also infuriating, right?
I mean, I always find that so fascinating that this is a party, that the Republican Party is predicated so aggressively on this idea that these are alphas, these are the tough men, Donald Trump views himself as a strong man, and yet he is wallowing in perpetual victimhood.
Always, right? And again, it's just Donald Trump. Donald Trump captured the Republican Party. The Republican Party does no longer exist other than a fundraising vehicle, right? And this is who he is. He is always the victim. It's the Roy Cohn, School of Management, right? It's never your fault. It's the Communist Party. That is the most insane thing, right? So I had this conversation with a friend. He is reinvigorating the McCarthy playbook from 1954 or 55.
All the while attacking communism as if he's protecting everybody from it.
Yes, are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? No, in social media, it's not even a question anymore, and it's not even a blacklist. It's a hate list. You are Kamala Harris, Communist Harris, right? All the name calling, all the hate. He doesn't even ask the question. He just says, so if I say something negative about him, I'm a communist, I'm a Marxist, all this other ridiculous nonsense that just makes me laugh. But that's what he does. It's the Roy Cohn playbook. And, it imploded on Roy Cohn. He didn't win the McCarthy trials. He got, do you have no shame? We are about to have our do you have no shame moment, led by Kamala Harris. And people will recognize that, yes, as a country, we do have shame. We are self-aware. We do care. We are empathetic. And those go hand in hand with leadership. You can be strong. You can be bold. You can be decisive. You can fight, right? You can demand the best, right? And you can stand up against our greatest enemies alone or together. He can't.